little bit like that. No, who's number 8?
Number 8, Aaron Campman.
Ooh. Should we have let him go to the Jaguars? Should we have resigned him?
Well, I mean, the problem there was because that was kind of, he had, 2 or 3 really good years, didn't he? And then they switched the defense from a 4-3 to a 3-4 and moved him to outside linebacker, and it was never quite the same after that. So I guess as much of anything, I think it was probably just a fit thing at that time. And super pass rusher, dominant pass rusher for those 2 or 3 seasons. Really, really good player.
He made some money off those sacks, that's for sure. Money. He signed a nice contract. What was his total, Peter?
54. And I, without having the numbers in front of me, I would imagine that most of those came in about a 3-season stretch. I would think.
Yeah. Well, and that the previous point too kind of comes in right there, in that you have a relatively modern edge guy, an end, with sitting roughly in the same spot that Henry Jordan is rushing from the middle. That's an illustration of Jordan's value.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh,
and then the guy just above Aaron Campman, one of my personal favorites, great pass rusher, 55 sacks for the Packers, Timmy Harris.
You betcha.
And again, this is a guy that, for Packers fans, that we will never forget, because dominant pass rusher. But across the league, I guess probably other than 49ers fans, because that's where he ended up playing after the Packers, it's probably a name that doesn't come to too many minds. But in that period, that late 80s, early 90s period, he was as good a pass rusher as there was in the league, bar none. And an interesting character.
Didn't he have some kind of a nickname that had cat in it as well? I'm trying to remember. He had some kind of an interesting nickname, but he was a big dude. Goodness gracious.
He was, and a dominant. The old 6 shooters back celebration. Probably, in that period of time, give or take a Sterling Sharp here and there, the best player the Packers had.
Yeah. The only player on the defense for a stretch. I mean, there was just nothing there.
He certainly seemed that way. And there was one year, and I can't remember whether it was 88 or 89, that he had 19 sacks.
Yep.
So fantastic. It's good to talk about. Good to talk about Timmy Harris.
Well, the other way to sort of expand that a little is that when he is the only threat on your defense, he's facing extra scheme every week, making each and every sack harder to get.
Absolutely. And it's difficult to overstate how good he was in that period. And like you say, on some not such great teams.
But 19 sacks is 19 sacks. I don't care who you are, where you are, what you do. That's incredible. I just remember Tim Harris's, the way that he would line up. He was so tall, a little thinner, but he had just the perfect angles. He was just perfectly angled, and his 3-point stance and just blew off. Oh, it reminds me of another guy. Maybe he's on the list. Is Vonnie Holliday on the list?
No.
Oh.
So Vonnie Holliday was on the old list. So Vonnie's got 32 sacks.
Yeah.
So he's Vonnie's 9th on the official list.
All right.
But doesn't make our new list.
I liked his.